All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to, I want to say Mod 9. Yeah, it is Mod 9, isn't it? We're going fast this year. This is Design 248, Web Design 2. That means you guys have already had Web Design 1 and programmed HTML, correct? Yes, no?
No, we use Muse.
Oh, that's right, which is now going away.
God, I hope so, because I hated it.
But we're going to be using Dreamweaver this mod. Give it a second. Hi, Joshua. Can you hear me? Probably not yet. I don't see his microphone showing up. All right. Can you hear me, Joshua?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. All right. So tonight we're going to go over who I am, introduction to the class, and this week we're covering the basics of HTML and CSS. Tonight I'm going to start talking about the CSS. Tomorrow night we'll give the basic HTML and move into the CSS, how they apply. And then we're going to work on that the rest of the mod, okay? But it's slow by slow by slow so that you guys have that chance to get used to it, okay? All right, so first thing, who am I? Mike Brooks, also known as Loki. Some people keep asking, why Loki? Well, I'm a fire performer, and that's my fire performing name. I eat, breathe, spin fire. Graphic artist, web designer, photographer, and retired out of the Air Force. Let's see. I have 2 kids. We live in Boise, Idaho. 2 kids, married to my wife. Married her 4 years ago, actually, this month. In fact, 2 days from now is our 4-year anniversary. And she had 2 kids. I adopted them this last December. So I have 4 kids, a 24-year-old she has a son who's 2 years old. So I have a grandson. 21-year-old, he's married. He's in the Marines in North Carolina. I have a 9-year-old daughter and a 6-year-old daughter, both starting school tomorrow. Like I said, we live in Boise, Idaho, retired. I've been web programming since about 96. Been programming on computers since 1984, excuse me. So it's been a while. In fact, I started out on what was called a TI-99-4A, moved to a Commodore VIC-20, onto the Commodore 64. I never did touch the Commodore 128. In fact, I still have my Commodore 64 in storage, and it still works. Needless to say, it's in storage. What else? Like I said, I've been programming since then and web designing since 96. So a lot of what we're doing didn't come about till the last few years. The CSS portion didn't. HTML, we're in HTML5 now. And what that does is HTML5 came about so that they could start animating without having to use extra programs like Flash, Animate, or anything else like that. So that's why we're now into HTML5. Also, the interactive websites. As you can see in the week 1 discussion, which we'll get to there soon. All right, now, something I prefer is when we're doing class, rather than use the chat room, I have found it's quicker for everybody to actually use the microphones. So if I'm saying something and you have a question, go ahead and ask it then. I'd rather that than wait and wait and wait, because sometimes people forget their questions. I know I do. So that's why I don't mind if you interrupt. It's part of, well, it keeps me on track of answering your questions that you need answered. Everybody understands that?
Yes.
Yeah.
It also makes it quicker in class. We're not bouncing back and forth catching up. So we get to cover more. All right, now, for this class, you're going to be needing Adobe CC 2018. Is everybody on CC 2018?
I am.
Joshua?
Yes.
Okay, are you both on a Mac or a PC?
Mac.
Mac.
Okay. I ask because there are some programming people that are on the PCs that come into this class as well. So if you guys are those, whenever I say Command Shift this or Command Z, it's the same thing as a Control Z, okay? So instead of using the Command key, which is also known as the Apple key, I'm using you for the PC, you'd be using the Control. All right, so with that, before we get started, do you have any questions?
No.
Nope, none yet.
Okay. Have either of you taken this class before?
No.
No.
All right. Well, you're in for some fun. I do like Dreamweaver, and Dreamweaver is a little quirky at times, but there are some fixes that I will go over with you, workarounds, all right? And if you know the workarounds, you can make any page work. All right, so first things first, let's get the house cleaning about the class out of the way. Announcements. Please make sure to read your announcements. I'm going to be changing some of the announcements, but you won't see them till next week in week 3 because I have the Learning Coach schedule up here. She gave me an adapted one, so I'll be switching those out tonight. Now, you guys, there's 2 classes that I'm doing this mod, both Design 248. One is Design 248-1, one is Design 248-2. I am teaching the classes at the same time. So that's why sometimes you'll see 1 here or you'll see 2. It's the same class. Just like I said, I'm doing them both at once so that it saves you guys time. All right, now, announcements I just talked about. So the home, all live sessions, as you know, are listed right here. Tuesdays and Wednesdays, 6:30 Pacific, Mountain 7:30, Central 8:30, Eastern 9:30. Click here to get in. Now, if you go down here, you'll notice Lecture 1. I will be placing Lecture 1 right there, then Lecture 2, and then so on, okay? So that's where the recordings will be. All right. Let's go here to about the instructor. All right. As I said, I'm Mike Brooks, also known as Loki. I can be reached email michael.brooks@independence.edu. Telephone number 208-901-9092. Skype name michael.brooks.boise. Now, I'm noticing a lot less people are using Skype, which is fine. Easiest way to get a hold of me is text or call. All right. If you do email me, it's a little slower, but a text will get to me the quickest usually, because even if I'm in a meeting, I can try to respond to a text. Telephone calls, depends. If I don't answer, or if you do text, make sure you tell me who you are and what class you're with, Design 248-1 or Design 248-2. And that is right here. This number right here tells what class you're in, okay? So just make sure to tell me which one you're in so I can answer a lot easier and quicker. All right. Before we go any further, any other questions so far?
No.
No.
Okay. Course information. The objectives of this course: understand the code editor's workspace and basic tools, analyze best practices for user experience, and user interface in web design. Evaluate best practices for creating responsive web design. Create a sitemap, and yes, I'm reading these. The reason I read these, word for word almost, is this way I can give you my interpretation rather than you guys read them and guess. Okay, so it's better that I give you the interpretation so you know what I'm grading off of. So create a sitemap and wireframe for a website. Understand the principles of design and web page creation. Understand and apply HTML5 code to create web pages. Understand and apply CSS style sheets to format web pages and create a functioning, responsive website. That's what we expect to do throughout this mod. It may sound like a lot, but believe it or not, it's not that difficult. You guys will be able to do it because I'm going to teach you a couple ways to do it. I'm going to teach you the programming way, and I'm going to teach you the design way. And then I'm going to teach you how to use those together. All right, so week 1. And like I said, if you have any questions, stop me at any time. All right, we're going to discuss considerations when designing a good UI, user interface for responsive layouts. Understand and use Dreamweaver's workspace. Utilize a wireframe and mockup to create good UX and UI over multiple devices. I will go into what those are here soon. Understand and apply basic HTML syntax. Understand and apply basic CSS syntax. Create HTML pages and link with hyperlinks. That's it. That's what this class is. Now, UI, user interface. Easiest way to understand a user interface, any way that the user interacts with the web page or the program or the app. That would mean the buttons, the links, the graphics, anything they do, even the keyboard or the mouse or a pen, a stylus, that is a way to interact, okay? Anything that they use to interact is user interface. Now, UX. UX is how they walk away feeling. User experience. Is it a good one? Is it a bad one? Okay, so how do they feel about it? Is the user experience. And anything that they use to interact is the user interface. All right, for this week, the discussion. All right, the discussion. Discuss considerations when designing a good user interface or UI for responsive layouts. Okay? Now, you'll notice down here, this does not work. All right? So I've been asked, what do we do? I'm going to be going over the information for this, okay? So the fact is, just watch the class and you'll be able to catch up on what that was. Still working on getting it fixed because we instructors are no longer allowed to just put something in there that'll work and do the same thing. All right, so that being said, if you find any other broken links, tell me which link it is and where it's at, which page it's on, okay? Some of the YouTube links will do this. Now, as we go, some of the lynda.coms may also disappear. If a lynda.com disappears, I need to know that one ASAP as well, because that's what your daily quizzes, your daily checkpoints, your quizzes could be on. So make sure I know that that one's broke right away. They were working at the beginning of the mod, but Lynda, if they say, oh, this one gets too old, they won't warn us, and they will take it down. This class is based off of, I want to say 4 years ago. Dreamweaver's come a long way. So there will be questions on the quiz that are outdated when I go through the quiz. Unless they've changed the quiz. But, and I see the issue, I'll give you the points for trying, okay? Because there'll be questions like, in the new version, what changed? Well, that was 4 versions ago. I'm not going to go back 4 versions. I'm going to teach you the new version, okay? So just if you try the question and miss it, that's fine. I'll give you credit. But if you don't try the quiz, you don't get the credit. All right, so there's the discussion. All right, the assignment. To help you get started with coding your first website using Dreamweaver, there's a few things that can help to make the connection between the code behind the scenes that the browsers read in order to display what we see when we call up a page website on the internet. The main thing to remember, let code be your friend, okay? And something I have found is coding is a right-handed language, which means the left side of the brain controls coding. Because most left-handed people are creative, the right-handed people tend to do the programming better. Is that the actual law? No. That's just a general, okay? So I will teach you both sides of it. I do both. I'm a left-handed person, but I learned to program before I learned to create graphically. So I will teach you both sides. The main thing to remember, let code be your friend. All it is a language, and it's actually written in English no matter what country you live in, or if you speak English and no other language. Across the board, programming is all in English. Can anybody tell me why?
No.
Not a clue.
Well, one reason is that's where a lot of the programming languages started, was in America. So to keep it consistent across the board, other countries started learning it. The second, they needed a way to regulate it so that, not regulate it, but make it so that it's the same across the board for everybody. So English was chosen because, believe it or not, most other countries speak English as well as their native language. All right, so to display a web page, your internet browser reads and interprets a special set of instructions. These instructions are written primarily in 2 languages, HTML and CSS. Dreamweaver includes features that allow you to build web pages based on the latest web standards. To see how HTML and CSS work together to make a web page, please read this article. Okay, so read that article. Now, first, please download the zip file from resources below. All right, have any of you done this yet?
Yes.
No.
Okay. Well, right here's our resources, course file, resource files. I'm going to do this. So I'm going to bring it down. While it's coming down, I'm going to bring up what I have on the desktop because I'm putting everything into one folder. All right, which, best thing to do when programming is this thing called file organization. Is there any, what's file organization?
Having a set way of setting everything up.
And why do we do that?
Everything.
So we don't lose anything or lose any links.
Okay. The basic reason comes down to, like you said, we don't want to lose links. We don't want to lose files. We don't want to forget where we did it, right? Well, which program are you guys in? Graphic Arts or Graphic Arts with Web Design?
Graphic arts.
Graphic arts.
Okay. As we start playing with Dreamweaver, I'm going to show you what happens when I move the files. Because with Dreamweaver, file organization is very important. You move one thing, and you can mess the whole site up, okay? Now, as you can see here, here's our files, okay? We have 4 folders that come down with this, right? I'm going to place them over here into my MOD9 folder. All right, now, new folder, Design 248. _. Now, I'm going to just use these files throughout the weeks, okay? As we get to the directions, you're going to see where you name this folder something different each time. But you're using the main folder all the time. You're using the same folder. All right, now it's design 248 _ week 1. And it would be assignment or assessment, okay? But for this one, I'm just going to do that. All right, now I have that main folder right there. Now, everything I did, everything we're working on is in that folder, the lawn care site, all right? So I'm going to take and copy these. The reason that I'm copying those, I'm going to copy all 3, go back up to this folder. Now, I always have a way to go backwards. If I mess up, and this is where I was talking about Dreamweaver having some issues. You will see it this week, and I'll intentionally show you those issues. Because Dreamweaver has a tendency right now to rewrite the program, to rewrite the coding you did, and it messes the whole site up, okay? That's why you keep a backup of everything that you could bring on over. And I'll show you also, like I said, how to work with that, how to work around it, and everything. So this isn't going to be that hard. Just have the extra folder. It helps a lot. But make sure when you tie your Dreamweaver, you tie it into that second folder. Don't tie it into the one that says lawn care site. This is where a lot of people mess up, is they will start using both those files. And by using both of them, your pages will not work. You have to use one. This is called your root file, okay? So this one's a root file folder, and this one's a root folder. The reason, like I said, I copied it so I have the original to go back to when it messes up. Now, you say, okay, you've learned to save every so often, right? That way that doesn't happen, correct? Yes, no?
Yes.
What do you think, Lori?
Yes.
Okay, it is correct for most things. When you save in Dreamweaver at a certain point, that's when it messes it up. It actually rewrites everything when you save it. So no matter how many backups you save, it will do it. And if you guys don't have the backup, you'll have to go out, download everything, and start over. This way, you just copy them, paste them right back over there, okay? Like I said, I am going to show you the workaround because I finally figured out the workaround. So we will be building all 3 websites, web pages, sizes. It's going to be smartphone. It's going to be smart tablet. And it's going to be desktop. All right, so let's go ahead and put that so nobody comes across. All right, so that's it. All right, so what we're going to do for the first part, after downloading the zip document named Design 248 Student Starter Files, that's what we just did. Unzip or extract it by double-clicking the file. Some may have to have zip files automatically expand when downloaded. Next, move the folder the zip file creates out of your downloads folder. Don't leave it in your downloads. And you saw I created a second one. That's not here, but it's the way that we can do this just in case Dreamweaver does its flip out on you. Because there are times it'll just do it anywhere, but for the most part, it does it the same place every time. All right, so let's see. It is a good idea to give your folder a permanent place on your computer. Moving it will cause Dreamweaver to lose the links for all of your site assets if it is moved to another place on your computer. Now, have you guys used Dreamweaver before?
No.
No.
All right. So no bad habits then. That's good. Now, are bad habits good, bad? Not always. Just sometimes some of those bad habits could cause a little difficulty because you might miss a step. All right, so inside the folder contains everything you'll need to build the site over the next 4 weeks in Dreamweaver. Site map, wireframes for the lawn care company, root folder you will define in part 1, and a folder with images. So first thing is we're going to do this, all right? Rather than read this, I'm going to walk you through it. It's so much quicker, all right? All right, so you see we have this folder here. I went to my copy, the one I named with my name, okay? But let's go to Dreamweaver. All right, you'll notice, oh, Dreamweaver's still opening. What did Dreamweaver do to me? Okay. I want to come down here. We're going to, when it opens, we go right up here to Manage Sites, right there. See it at the bottom of there? Once again, go up here, very bottom, Manage Sites. Every site you create will have a name. You'll call it what you want, okay? But for the most part, like this one, lawn care. Well, I'm going to delete it. And we're going to start that one over. And as you can see, these are all sites I've designed. In fact, we'll get rid of that one really quick. All right, now, let's just say I want to do the lawn care site, right? So we say new site, and that's what this one is. It pops up, site name. This is just a name so that when you read it here, you know what site it is. Local folder. The local site folder is the root folder, all right? So we go to my desktop, I said here, and the Michael Brooks, and choose. You see how those two are tied together so far, right?
Yes.
Joshua?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. So we choose that. Now the advanced settings, you go into it, default images folder. When you're doing your file organization, it's best to put all the images into one folder. Well, this sets that up, and you notice I'm in there already. That was set up with that first step. Now I say the images folder. This way, all my images go to one location instead of spread out throughout, okay? It's a lot easier. I know where they're at and everything. And save. Notice it now says lawn care. I say done. All right, now let's take a look. Styles, CSS, index, and images. There's all the images. Now let's bring that back up. Images, there's all the same images. Index or styles, notice it's all the same. We are not going to really be working over here. Most of this class, you're going to work here. There will be times we work here, all right, when something starts to go weird. Then we'll just go backwards, and I'll show you how to do that. But for the most part, now everything we do is right here. This file folder right here is that folder right there. Everybody understands that step, right?
Yeah.
All right, so let's go back to the directions. All right, do one of the following. Okay, tender watch. Okay, now open the index file on your root folder. Okay, so how to do the following items are demonstrated in the live session are covered in various tutorials found in week 1 course media. Again, you may have a hard time getting to some of those. So I cover almost everything in my live lectures, okay? So there's some basic structure already in place, as you saw right there. Whoops. Right there's the basic structure. You'll be building on this page and adding pages to the same root folder throughout the rest of the mod. So don't move it or throw it away after you've submitted each week's assignment. You're building on it. So build week 1 goes to week 2. Week 2 is built on week 1. Week 3 is built on week 2, and so on. All right, so first things first, open the index page in your root folder. Notice index. We double click on the index and bring it up. Okay. Change the title tag to read lawn care and landscaping. Okay. Well, this is kind of fast tonight. Tomorrow night, I'll break down the HTML for you. But we come over here. You'll notice I have the code. I could do all the code myself right here, right? Or I could do a split code where I watch what I'm doing. Live or design. The design view looks a little bit different than the live. The live gives you closer to a reality look of what it's going to look like on a browser. All right, so as you can see, we have this now. So I have it set up the split, and it was talking about the title. Well, guess what? It is already done here. See? Lawn care and landscaping. So I just copied that and pasted it there. Now, file, save all. All right, next. Attach the provided style sheet. Style.css style sheet, okay? Now watch what happens. This is where the CSS designer comes in, all right? So we're going to do it this route because it's a lot quicker and easier. So, come up here to sources. That's our CSS source. We've got an existing one. We're not creating a new one, and we're not defining in page. We'll get into that tomorrow. Attach the existing. And I'm going to repeat this over and over and over this mod. But I'll be adding something each time we do it in different steps. This way you start to learn it, because repetition on this is one of the best ways to do it. But I try to keep it fun as we're doing it. All right, so now I could type in the address, or I just go here to browse. Notice this is where my site is. Not this one. Remember, we do not use it. That's my backup, right? So we go to here. There's my CSS. Open. Link, not import. You import, it brings the coding into the page. We'll talk about that tomorrow as well. So we just want to link it and say OK, and look what just happened. What is CSS? Does anybody know?
Not a clue.
It creates the design of the website, the background layout.
Okay. Yeah, you're off to a good start there. But there's a lot simpler way to describe it, but you're on the right path. All right, so style the header, navigation, and logo placement per provided mock-up of the homepage for all 3 screen sizes with media queries. Check to make sure the page has been named correctly. Well, if you do step 1, up here, open it, title it, you don't have to check because it's done. But it's always a good idea to double check there. All right? And the CS media queries are modified for each screen size to make it responsive. All right, then we're going to zip it, name it, and turn it in. All right, now, so that puts us at this spot. Okay? All those are the things we downloaded. And as you can tell, the images, index, CSS, that's the folder I'm working in. That's week 1's assignment right there. And you're going to zip it, okay, after you go through and do the setup. All right, so now, where do you get these files? The mock-up. Let's drop this down. Trying to work around Zoom here. All right, so the mock-up is right here. It's a PSD file. Let's bring it up. We are going to create, and just say cancel there, because you don't have all the links that was created with. So, and not worry about it because you can see everything here. All right, so this is what we're going to have 1024 desktop, 768 tablet, and 480 mobile. Hi, Jesse. Welcome to class. Go ahead and use your microphone.
Hello.
Hello. Okay. So as you can see, here's the 3 responsive, what they're going to look like at the end of week 1. This is what page 1 is going to look like, okay? For desktop version, tablet version, and mobile version. That looks like it's going to be a lot, but because of CSS, it's not as much as it looks like. All right, so everything's done within the files. All right, so for now, we're going to go ahead and go back over to here. Tonight, I'm going to do, like I said, the quick rundown, set it up, put it in, and get most of the site set up for this first assignment, okay? But it's to start giving you ideas of what terms are, how things tie together. Tomorrow night, we'll redo it again, so I'll just basically delete the files. I'll show you how to work with those files and delete them, because watch this. All right, based on what I just did, let's go back to my files here. Shrink this down so it's easier to see. And this is the problem with Zoom. It just makes it difficult at times to see everything. All right, so you can see, whoa. You can see how I have everything set up here. I have my index, style, source code. Down here, I have split code, search output, the properties I have right here. See, I have all my panels set up. Have you guys learned how to set up your own working panel so that it's set up your way?
No.
Well, then what we're going to do is we're going to go back. See right here where it says Loki? We're going to go back to standard. All right, so here I have my standard. It's a little weird. In fact, I'm going to reset the standard. There we go. This is how the standard comes across when you first tie into it. Now to make it look like you want, the way I do it. And you don't have to do this, but the way I'm going to show you might help you for the steps while you're learning the program, okay? I've done a lot of playing with this. Not saying it's the best, but it's one of the easiest for most people to start to get used to what the tools do and everything, all right? So, all right, now, notice I had the files, my CC libraries. I didn't have it there. I usually put that in a window right here. You guys know how to move these windows around, right? In other programs?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I have my CC libraries there. My CSS designer, I'm going to put that one right here. In fact, usually I'll put it over there. My insert right there, because this is stuff we will need this mod. This one here, as you start learning how things break down, this one could be helpful. So I will put that one itself right up here after insert, okay? So now we come down here, snippets, that one. Now, I'll put it right there because snippets are extra code that you could pull out and use to make things easier. And then the assets. Now, the assets, I don't use it as much as a lot of people, but we'll put it right there for now, all right? And as you know, we can close that down. Just mouse over it, it tells you what it is, right? All right, so that being said, and all I have to do is click here and it expands them. All right, so now you notice I have my selectors, so all my CSS, my insert, my DOM, and my main files. Now, you notice I have some stuff down here. If we go up to Windows, we have CC libraries. Well, I already have CC libraries. Notice we also have a files, which is there. The CC libraries are all of our Creative Cloud files. And you'll notice, like, for example, I'll use that a lot when we're doing this page. Lawn care, I've created my own little color tabs here. So I just click on them, and then I have the codes, okay? If you guys want, do a screenshot right now, and you'll have all the color codes you'll need for this site. You guys want to do that? Command-Shift-3.
Command-Shift-4.
4?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Well, I do the 3 and it gets the whole screen. So, yeah, 4 makes it a little easier. Good. See, but you'll also find out as you go that you're going to do your own things. Just like right there is a good example, which is fine. I'm not telling you you have to do it my way. What I'm expecting of this class is that you guys can come up with the right solution any way you do it without cheating. So you can't just copy it, a finished one. But does that make sense? I'm not going to tell you how to do it. I'm not going to take points off if you don't do it the way I do it. Okay? All right, so, and let's see. Now, some of the other things, let's go up here. We have, for our panels, let's see, the toolbars. I have all the toolbars on. Tile, cascade, yeah. The workspace layout, it's the same thing as if I went over here. Same thing as you can see, right? All right, now we come over to here. Well, let's see. Code Inspector. I'll turn the Code Inspector on. The Code Inspector will tell you if there's any errors, but this does the same thing right here. Okay, the Code Inspector is basically the same as if you put the split screen on or go over to code. So that's why I usually don't even turn it on, because this will tell me when I make a mistake. This will go red, and this will go to a red, like no smoking sign. That red circle with the line through it pops up right there at the bottom. Okay. Extract. Extract, we don't use in this one, okay? Basically, you're using Photoshop and Dreamweaver. That's a new thing. We don't use it in this class. It might be taught when they rewrite the class, but not right now. All right, insert. Well, we've got the insert there. We don't need to worry about the jQuery mobile swatches. But if you want, you could bring those up. And you'll notice that they're blank because we write those or we go get them, okay? So that's why I leave it off for this beginning class. All right, next, properties. Now, I do put the properties on, and I place it down here at the very bottom. That way I have my properties, my code, and everything, okay? So I click here, and I have my page properties. Well, HTML or CSS properties, whatever they are, because you'll see this comes in handy. All right. Next, results. Those will pop up later. So I usually wait till they pop up and put them down there as I need them, okay? Then all you do is go up here. Well, let's see. We are going to just save current. Now, if I say save current, that saves it as the standard. If I say new workspace, it'll bring up the name. Well, I'm going to put Loki 1. Click OK. Notice I have Loki 1, Loki 2, very close with a little difference. Okay, notice what I was talking about, the search, output, get. This is all stuff that comes about as you start to program and use it, okay? So you'll put that up there as you decide what you like. And then all you have to do, if I bring one up, I just go up here, leave that highlighted, and save current. And that saves it over that. Now, manage workspaces. If I decide I don't want one like that one, I just go there, click delete. Yes, it's gone. And there we have it. That way, no matter what, let's go to the developer. I can now always click, go back to my own setup. Can you guys see where this will be useful?
Yes.
Realize this is able to be done in almost every Adobe program, by the way. May save you guys a lot of time setting things up once you have your own setup. All right, now, after that, so we've got all this set up. Now we're going to take a look at that, okay? Now watch. If I hit delete here, whoops, I actually have to click here and hit the delete. It'll say, do you want to delete it? Yes. Boom, index is now gone. Don't save it. See, it's gone. Well, let's go back here now. Notice index is missing, all right? And this is why I said this. You're going to like this. Now, all I have to do is move to trash, lawn care site. Now I take those, copy them, Command-C, back to here, Command-V. Now watch, refresh, everything's there. I don't have to add anything back here. This does the same thing. But like I said, I'll show you points to use back and forth. But the one thing you'll notice is, let's go to CSS Designer. I deleted the link because it was linked on that page, okay? It doesn't link automatically. It has to be linked through the coding right here, okay? So let's link that again to the CSS, open, okay. There we go, now we're tied in. And as we come up here, see this? Styles.css. This whole thing, just that line right there, tied us to that. So once again, what we're going to do now, this time, I'm going to go out here, and we're going to delete it here. So I'll move to trash. Come back in here for a second, refresh. Notice they're gone. This, oh, do you want to save it? Well, I can, but everything else is gone, so let's not worry about it. Now, all I have to do again, copy this, go back, and paste. Now I come over here, reset, bring this up. Now notice you don't see that line here, okay? Now what we're going to do, we're going to tie that once again. So attach existing, browse. Now can you see where if you messed up those two folders and grabbed the wrong CSS, how that can cause issues? Yes, no?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, now if you look right here, now do you see the line?
Yes.
Line 8, that just tied it in again, all right? So now we're gonna file, save all. All right, that is the first step to the directions. Now we get to go in and start setting up for this, all right? So this is what we want it to look like. All right, now there's a few ways we could do this. One of them, notice all the background color is a darker gray than what's here, right? Now you see why I went out and created this. So which one of these is that gray?
Third one.
This one?
Yes.
Okay. Now, the good thing is libraries. All I have to do, if I click that, copy to the clipboard, now I come over here. Okay, so we're going to go to our sources. Now, that is a page. Okay, so if I go to my HTML, that clicks and selects the whole thing. Now, I can put it here. This is background. So, layout, text, borders, background, additional stuff. The additional stuff is all sorts of different CSS. But background, I click on background. I just go to right here, Command V, enter. And look, I just put that into there. Now, you'll notice this is 768, and, well, this says 768, 1024. I don't see the 1024. To see that, what we need to do is, this is where we play with our Mac settings. So be careful while doing this, all right? So I go to, there's two ways I could do it. I can go to System Preferences or About This Mac. System Preferences. Then we come to Displays. Scaled. All right. I want to go a little smaller. And notice. All right. So it's not showing it. But now, because of that, I could take this out wider. See how that added to it so I could do that?
Yes.
Now, the other way, we go up. Okay, yeah, Photoshop. So the other one, About This Mac, displays. Same thing, display preferences, right here. Make sure you click scaled, because if you say default, that's what it does. It just gives you the default. Scaled will let you choose, okay? We can go larger, we can go smaller. All right, so that's set up. Now, thing I want to do is click. We don't want to go above 1024. Most things above 1024 are the larger screens, okay? So just, we're going to stay within the 1024. But notice everything, that gray is now there, no matter what we do, okay? So I've already started that. So that one's out of place. That one's done. Now notice this dark green here. For the text, we come over here. Well, the text is a blue. Well, we're going to change that color. So we're going to come over here, and we're going to grab the dark green. And remember, like I said, this may go fast tonight, but we're going to keep repeating it over and over and over so you guys can practice it with me. So the more you can make it to class on this one, the better it's going to be and easier for you. So do you guys all think you're going to make it to class?
Yes.
Gonna try.
I do have a question.
Yes.
You're running High Sierra. Should we all be running High Sierra?
What are you running?
Whatever it came with.
Oh boy. Do me a favor. Go click on your Mac and see what you're doing. This will cause a problem with 18. That's a really good question. Thank you for bringing that one up.
I believe it's Safari.
No.
I am running the Creative Cloud 2018, but it's whatever program came.
Here's what you do. See the apple up here? Click on your apple, About This Mac. Overview. And that'll tell you right there.
Your screen is covering my everything.
Hit escape. Hit escape and it'll shrink it down.
Okay.
That work? This is where we have fun with Zoom getting in the way.
Okay, it says Mac OS Sierra.
Sierra, not High Sierra?
Nope, not High Sierra.
Okay, so next question. What's everybody else on?
I'm on High Sierra.
I got High Sierra too.
Okay. Now you go up here. Well, let's go over here. Bring this up. Go to your applications. What does this say? Does it say 2018 or 2017 for each of those?
Mine say 2018.
2018.
You're lucky. Most Sierra cannot run 2018. So you're lucky your computer's running 2018. So that should not be a problem, but I would suggest upgrading so that there is no problems, unless you have a reason not to. Now, I say that not to be facetious or anything, but some people have some things on their computers that will not work. And this goes to our programming side, where we've had to do some workarounds and use 2017 versus 2018 for them. Now, I think that's all worked out now, but just in case, I still have those workarounds just in case. So if you're running 2018, that's great. That's the biggest thing. Are you running Dreamweaver 2018 now? It'll tell you right here.
Yes, I am.
Perfect. Then you should be fine, but I would recommend updating to High Sierra when you can. Those glitches are pretty much gone. Okay, so now, as we were saying, now we've got that. So we're going to go back in again, and did I answer your question, actually?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm grabbing the green. All right, now, there's a couple ways I could do this. Notice down here is totally empty. Now, we go up here to File, Page Properties. It brings up other CSS. All right, the text color, we're going to leave that for now. Background color, we're going to leave that for now. But we're going to go to the links, and it's going to say you have a null property and you're not supposed to, or an auto. Well, don't worry about that. Click past it twice. This is because we are using a template that was written 4 versions of Dreamweaver ago. So not everything's going to work exactly right, but by doing the steps, let me rephrase that. We're going to make it work right with those errors. And those errors, they're 4 versions behind, where now those errors won't even happen. Does that make sense? We're working with those errors, in other words. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes.
Yes.
Missing somebody.
Yeah, sorry.
That's fine. All right, so now notice I'm going to go to the link color. I just do the Command V on the link color, visited links, roll over, and active. All right, now we say apply. See how they just went to that dark green? Now look down here also. Remember how I was saying that if you import the CSS, this will come over? This is what happened, okay? I'll show you more of that after we're finished here. All right, so always underline. Well, we want never underline. Boom. Apply. That underline is now gone. Now let's go back over there really quick. You'll notice this is kind of bold, right? Well, we're going to make this bold too. Just come up here to bold. And now we can say okay. See how that's now set up the same format, right?
Yes.
Okay, now we're going to go ahead and we're going to take this where it's at, and we're going to work with the CSS. like I said, tomorrow night I will break down exactly what CSS is and HTML. This is to get us started. All right, so now we have this laid out. So first things first, well, now we're going to go back to the CSS. We're working on the 1024 version, which is what? Desktop, right?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, so now we're going to take that desktop version. And we are, click on the logo. Notice it says image.style-logo. So if I come over here, the source is the main CSS file. Inside that source is desktop and smart tablet. And then the selectors break it down further and the properties even further. Like I said, we're going to go into that tomorrow night, but right now that's a quick explanation so we could start showing you. And by showing you tonight this, again, it's going to make a lot more sense tomorrow night when I start breaking this down. All right, so now we take our desktop, add, notice, .row.col.style-logo. All right, so we hit enter. If we don't hit enter, nothing down here changes. Now, we're going to come down here to the very bottom and do what is called a float left. Notice how everything moved up. All right? That's normal at this point. Now, you see this right here? Remember where we changed the gray? And this is an example of what happens when you change it at the wrong point. We changed it for all backgrounds. We didn't change it just for the page background. So anywhere the black background was blank, now is gray. See? So that's an easy fix. What we're going to do, we're going to go up here to File, save All Related. By saving All Related, see, every time I change something over here in the CSS Designer, it adds it to the CSS coding. The source code is the HTML5. The CSS file is the CSS code. All right, so what we're going to do is we are going to go back to the file, page properties. All right, now notice this was the background color I put here, right? Well, actually, I went back this far and did it at the HTML, remember? So we're going to take that, copy it, and delete it. So I'm just going to go trash can. Now it's all back to white. So what we're going to do, and this will fix that problem so you don't have to do this. And it saves us steps later because otherwise we have to break each line down and change the coding for each line. This way you only have to do it a little compared to a lot. All right, File, Page Properties, Background, and V, Apply, yes, yes, okay, yes, and yes. And look, see how that gray is no longer there? We now have to do half as much coding. So there's a good example of what happens if you get too far ahead or too broke down. If you're too far ahead of yourself, you can do stuff like that. Or if you break things down too much to begin with, you can have that issue. All right, so next, we're up here at the top. So next thing we need to worry about are the getting these to look like this, right? Well, to do that, we go down here, we click on the 1024. Now that's the logo. We're not touching the logo again. But next, notice we click on this and it goes out. Style, there's our nav. So we click here, there's our image, the one above it. That is the logo. Now we click on the nav, and the nav's that whole section right there. All right? Well, what we're going to do, I'm going to go step by step with this so you can see what happens if you're too soon again. All right? All right, so now the nav. I want to get rid of those dots. Well, we could do that here, right? And we're going to. So we go to text. Scroll down here to text. Scroll down. There we go. To list style type. We could change all those to shapes, right? Well, we say none. Notice nothing happened. It's still there. Now we're going to take that out. Nothing happened again. In other words, this is too early for that step. And this is where a lot of people start to have those problems. They mess up what step they should be on. All right, so I'm going to delete that step here. I'm going to hit the delete key. It's gone. Now we're going to go, well, we go to that step. But you notice I have nav and UL. UL means unordered list. LI is list. All right, so we're going to do 3 lists tomorrow, but not worry about them tonight. All right, so we go to the unordered list. The unordered list is all 4 of those, all right? So that's the smallest area, the furthest down, that controls those 4 things. If I go any further, it's individually controlled. Do you see the difference?
Yes.
I just lost somebody. Okay, Lori, do you see the difference?
Yes.
All right, so now what I want to do is, well, we're going to go that one step in. So UL, notice I can go to here too. And I could go anywhere backwards up that chain. And this is where this comes into play as well. I drop those out and see. I go to my UL. I click on it, and that takes me to that same spot. That's where this DOM comes in. You can do that as well. All right, so now let's go back to here. Now I've got that highlighted. I want just the UL. So we're going to add it. Notice, .call space .style -nav space UL for unordered list. All right, now we're going to do that again. So we click the text, go down. Now watch. None. And see how it disappeared? Now that's gone. So that's the furthest we needed to go with that. So you'll know if you don't go far enough or if you go too far. Hi, Joshua.
Hello.
All right, so next, what we're going to do. Somebody's got their... Oh, hi, Dominic. That's who came in. Sorry. Your camera's on, Dominic. I'm still waiting for his microphone to pop up. Hello. Okay, we're still waiting for Dominic to pop up for sound. So we're going to go ahead and just keep going for now. Won't tell he pops in for the sound. All right, so as you can see, now what I'm going to do is, there we go. Hi, Dominic. Can you hear me? Go ahead and use your microphone. Can you hear me, Dominic? Okay, not able to hear me yet. Oh, okay. So if anybody notices him say something, let me know, please, if I miss it. I'll try to keep checking. Your camera is also on, Dominic, just to let you know. There we go. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to delete that one. All right, so we have those back. Now I'm going to go that one step further. All right, so now I'm on the LI, which is list. So it's a list item, list, 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 okay? So it's broke down as far as it'll go because they're all the same. It's broke down as far as this one takes it. So now what I'm going to do is we'll add that here. Notice it's the UL space LI. Well, let's go down to that same spot and say none. It's gone again. Now that will work sometimes. It's hit and miss if it's going to work all the time. Now, I'll show you the best place I like to get rid of it. So there's many options here. And this is why I go over it really fast tonight, like I said, the repetition. So the way I like to get rid of it, huh? Okay, thought somebody said something. All right, so the way I like to get rid of it personally is I'll go back to the styles. And, well, let's see. On the main styles, let's click that UL to begin with. All right, on the styles. This is all the CSS, okay? Notice there's an HP banner. There's an HP banner. There's going to be 4 of those. Okay, when we're finished, there's going to be 4 of those. Just not tonight. Actually, there's going to be, yeah, there's going to be 4 of them. All right, so, but what I want to do is go to here, to that UL, okay? And let's see, the banner. We're going to go up here to put it under the header. I'll click on the header, and I'll add the rule right there. All right, so now let's go to here. And this way, by putting that none there, I don't have to reprogram that on each one of those steps. All right, so now that we've done that, go back up, File, Save All Related Files, Save All. Okay, so we're going to go back to the 1024 now. Now these need to line out. So what we're going to do, we'll click on the LI. And, well, let's see. Add it. Notice it's the LI. Now we're going to go to float left. And that puts them all next together. Notice how this pulls it all up. This is what we're going to have when we're finished. Similar to this, okay? But now, how do I get that down? Well, if I click into this section right here, notice that is the division of the HP banner. That is the banner, okay? Well, we've got the banner right there. So we're going to come down here and just do a clear left. That's the same thing as a shift return. Does everybody know what shift return does in Word? It's a soft return. Does everybody understand what the soft return does?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Do you understand what it does, Dominic? Oh, that's fine. You can watch it on this one and actually have the Mac up next to it and be in here twice. Or you can watch it on this one and practice while we go through it on the Mac. But it's up to you for whatever you want to do. Okay, so, all right, now we got to space those out. Well, if we go up here, we've already started setting the logo up. Now we have margin, padding, and position. We will also go over that tomorrow. Actually, the margin. This is the outermost part of the graphic. The space of the graphic. So this picture, the outline will be this, see this gray? The furthest out on that gray is it. Not the lighter gray, but the second gray. All right, now, if I put, like, let's say a percentage here. We're going to put 13%. See, that shoots those out. Because I put 13% of the page size. So this is 13% plus the pixel size of that, plus the pixel size of each of these. All right? Now that will start to make sense here in a second. So we have to go now again to the LI, which is here. Now the LI, we're going to put a percentage. Notice 0%. There's 10%. Okay, and there's 14%. That is the width. So now I can play with these until they come together where I want them. So that's 13%, 14, 15, 16. Okay, so we'll leave it at 15, and there we go. Now, notice, though, these are right here with the E. So to get that, we go back to that UI, to the LI, and this is where this padding comes in of pixels, because we don't have to do percentage. If I do a percentage, it does a percentage of the whole page size, not just the pixel part. All right, so notice that's pretty much the same thing, right? There's our site. There's the beginning. File, save all related files. File, save all. Do both. All related files. What that does is it saves the CSS and the source code. Save all files does not always save the CSS. Okay? All right, so next, what I want to do is notice this does not have the words that has in it. So this is where you get to play. All right? Make it look good. I'm going to give you some ideas and let you guys play. All right, so to do this, notice that his axe points somewhere. So let's point it to this, okay? First things first, we're going to click on this one, which is, notice, H3. What is H3? Does anybody understand?
Header 3.
Header 3. That one you know from Word, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to click on that, and now click here. Notice it's in the column, the HP banner column, and it's the header 3. So what we're going to do is left float. Takes everything to the left, right? Now we go here, H1. H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, H6 are the main ones, right? And then you get to a P, which is paragraph. So we're going to be playing with all that. But right now we're on H1. All right, so H1 we add, hit enter. Now I'm going to float left. Notice it puts it right there. But to make this look good, I'm going to also clear right, which is that soft return. Okay. Then this button, we're going to add the button as well. Again, we float right. and the return. All right, so now this doesn't look good, does it? There's too much white space, correct? So we fix that this way. We click on this, go back to H3. We don't even have to click over here anymore. All right, so let's go to the top, the margin. And now I could go up percentage. Now percentages, if I go up percentages, when I shrink down the screen, that's say, not percentage, but if I go up pixels, this will always stay 50 pixels. If I do a percentage, no matter what size of the screen, that's moved by that percentage. That's why the percentage works better here than the pixel. So we're going to put 10%. Oh, that's almost perfect, but let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 10's too much. Right about there. So 9 works perfect, right? This one we don't need to move because it's centered. Now let's take this one and, well, if we put 9%, is that one going to work there? Yes, no? Before I do it.
No,
Why not?
too small.
Too small, but it's a start. Now I just use my arrow up key. And there we have it. In fact, that's too much, isn't it? There we go. All right, now, that looks, what does that look good to you? What looks off?
It's too scrunched up.
Not really. Because, watch this, File, Save All Related, Save All. View on Google Chrome. The X points right to it. That whole thing. So that works for a header, right? If we start separating this, we're going to have too much white space between the lines. And do you know what a stutter step with your eye is?
Yes.
When I glance at it, something is going to stop my eye from moving. And if there's anything that stops it from moving, we lose the attention of that viewer. So you have to be careful that this works perfect for this then. Now watch why I did the percentage. See how it moves down? Now, this is the tablet size. And this is the smartphone. So right now, we're right here, right? But take a look at the text for read more. What do you think? What do you think of that text? Watch this. We're going to click on the button. So we're on the button again. Text. Now, what's the hexadecimal for white?
F all the way across
So that?
with the pound sign in front, I think.
Pound. Some people now call it the hashtag. But it is the pound sign, yes. Without it, the code's not going to work. Now, I could, since it's the basic one, do that. A lot of people like to do that. I don't. Because then personally, I feel more in control of the color by using the hexadecimal. That's just my personal feeling. The white works, but if I want a blue, light blue, dark blue, it still doesn't give me the exact blue I need. And that's where that comes in, okay? That's why I prefer to use the hexadecimal no matter what. And you see that looks a lot cleaner now? Now your eye's not getting stuck on that green text. It flows, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so now we're going to go File, Save All Related, Save All. All right, so we've just looked at this. Now, the next one. Notice this is blue and this is green. Okay, so we click here. This info box is called tan. I'm going to go back to the global, come down here, info box tan. Double click on it. Now I'm going to call it blue. Okay, notice it's gone because, well, there is no blue there. Right? Well, before I go too far on that, what we're going to do is change that to blue right there. And that put it right back to where it was. Well, whoops. All right, so now we're going to go back. And I could do that right there as well. So, well, it helps if I actually spell it. Okay, there we have it. So if you're going to change it here, in the All Sources, come down here, click on Global, come down here, you'll change it to blue there, and then to there. Now, another route, well, we're going to click on this one. That one's going to be the dark green, right? So instead of dark, I'm going to call it green. Notice in the CSS, click OK. No box again. Well, we go over here. Well, it changed there. We go to here, and we'll have to add it. Come up here. Notice we added one and got rid of that. So this is why we don't change it here first. Because as soon as I change the name there, I add another one here. All right, so we're going to go backwards. All right, so we're back to here. Once again, tan. I'm going to make that one blue. Change right here. Or you could change it right here. Both the same thing. Then we're going to do the same with the dark. And this is how you'll change them. You're going to need to know this later on because there are some things that we will have to change. So again, green. All right, so now we have them set up. What I'm going to do next, let's go to here. Notice it's not here, so we go down to the bottom. The reason I go to the bottom is I can place this wherever I want it. So if I go up here to body, and I have that one clicked, we click here, have the body. As soon as I hit insert, it goes to right there, okay? That's why I like to go down to the bottom, so I know that as I go down the page, my selectors match that. All right, so anyway, so that's a personal preference. Let's go to here, and now we need the blue, so I grab the blue. All right, so we're going to add it. Now we've added the blue box, background, blue. All right. Now comes the fun part. You'll come up here and notice it's 50%, right? For the desktop. So 50% and 50%. We'll have to set each one up. So first things first, we're on the blue. Width, we want it to be 50%. Enter. Then we're going to go float left as well. Okay, that brings them up, so it looks good. Well, the problem is, by bringing them up, and you'll notice this here should also be white. So we'll change all that. But now let's go ahead and we're going to do this one. We'll add it. And now watch what happens when I put the 50% on there. Because if I don't do the 50%, depending on the page size, it may not work. All right, it takes it to the next line. I have to put a float left so that it's right there. If I do a float right, it does the same thing. Okay, float left, float right. All right, now we're going to change what's inside. Again, all the text for this one, I want it to be white. Well, so theoretically, I can go text, text color, pound, enter. It changes all but the button. Okay, then I still have to do a paragraph one. So we'll add the paragraph because, well, now I have to put 15 pixels. See how that spreads it out equally? Okay. Now I'll go to here, to the button. Well, I have to add the button again to that section. And the text for it is going to be white as well. All right, now we have that one. So we're going to do the same over here for the info green. All right, well, first things first, it's all white already, so we don't have to worry about that. But we do need to go to the paragraph. So we add the paragraph, and this is going to be 15. And notice, you hit shift, it goes up 10 at a time. If you adjust the arrows, it goes one at a time. I hit enter, okay. And now I need to do the button again for that one and do the same thing with the text. All right, so we're getting there, all right. So we're gonna have this page pretty much finished tonight for the assignment, all right. But like I said, tomorrow we're gonna break it down so you can start to understand what we're doing, because you're going to need to understand to go to next week. All right, so we come down here. Now we want the pictures. All right, well, if we go to the image.
Don't you want to change the background to green
Which background?
for Meet the Crew?
Yes, good catch. So we want that green, right? Yep, good catch, I missed that. So to do that, we just go right here to, there's the blue and the green. Notice I got out of order on my greens there, but that's okay. Like I said, it's not going to matter right now. But now we've got that green, so I click the background and V, enter. All right, great catch. Save all related files, save all. All right, so now the next part. Okay, so I come to this div, which is all this area. Okay, it's a div row. That's the whole area, okay? So we go down, and I want that one first. So we click it and hit enter. Well, the row has to go down. We have to do the float left. Okay. Well, see what happened? We're going to turn the float left off and do the clear left. There we go. That took the row under it. See how that did that? Okay, now, because there's 4 of these. Now, I could do that there. That's fine. Now we're going to go to here, to the next one, add it, and that's the 1/4. All right, so that width is going to be 25%. Notice that picture is now outside of it. So I click on the image, and that becomes the image, and I add the image, and it's going to be 100% width. Okay. Now on the div, let's go back to the fourth. And you'll notice if I do float left, I now have all 4 pictures there. So we're going to go File, Save All Related, Save All. And guess what? Now, you see these lines and spaces in between? I am intentionally not adding those because I don't want to confuse you guys. All right? Because this does not split right between the two. But as you can see, it's the same layout. Now we're going to come down here and view it on Google Chrome. And there we have it. If we go to the next size, well, nothing, right? Well, that's because now we've got to go set that CSS up. All right, now based on that, well, let's go over here. Now, this is what I want it to look like at the top. So here's the tablet. To do this, well, now I have to click on this one. It's all blank still. Okay, so go to the very top. Click here. Okay, before I do anything, watch this. We're going to click on this and add it. Now, I'm going to put the width at 10%. All right, it changed, right? Well, we go back up here, and I changed it there. Because I'm looking at the 1024. If I look at the 768, see, and I changed it on all sources. I did not change it here. Okay? So what I need to do is make sure I'm in that div class. Okay, so the header. Well, let's add the header, the body header. And, well, everything wants to be centered. Okay? So we're going to text center. All right, now notice the text is laid out the same way, but it doesn't go up here. So I don't need to float left off of the image. These, on the other hand, we go to the list, and we're going to add that. Now watch the float left. That brings them up next to each other. Now we need to bring them out percentage-wise, so we'll go to here, and we're going to go up percentage. Notice, it doesn't center right, does it? So that's at 100 pixels. So we're going to go 10% here. All right, well, at the same time, I'm going to put 10% here. All right, that's too much, so let's go down 5. Okay, 10's too much, so we're going to go down to 8. Okay, 8's too much, 7. Notice how they're not really centered. And that's the problem with this, with a template, okay? It's going to be harder to center than what you guys need to do. So that's basically it, okay? Same thing. That's where I'm going to have you guys take it. So we're going to go File, Save All Related Files, Save All. Now watch when I do this. All right, so, oh, I just lost that setup because initially, remember where I put it on the wrong spot? I just messed that setup up. The good thing is it's only that right there. That's easy to fix. Now we go down. Oh, that's working. So let's go back now and fix that. So we click here. See? So we'll go back to the 1024, to here, 14. Notice that one's not working. And this right now is where it messed things up. That's one of those points. As you could see, now that's all messed up. It's no longer on the same line or anything. So you can see what I was talking about now about the coding suddenly messing itself up. And that's what just happened. And that'll happen sometimes when you're not paying attention and you go to that next step. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Now you see what I was talking about, okay, I'm going to show you the error. This is just one of them. There's going to be more, okay? I have to show you the workarounds to make this work. So, well, what we're going to do, we're on the 1024 CSS, 1024. Let's go to the UL. And you know what? Instead of putting the width at 14%, we're going to clear that. And let's try this one. See how that fixed it? It's a matter of where I changed it. Now we go back to here and it's still set up. But let's go take a look on what we did. The width and the percentages. Well, we're going to take these percentages out. And then we're going to go up to the width. Okay, that's 170 pixels, but that means that they'll stay that. So instead of pixels, I want to do a percent. So let's go 10%. And see how that just lined it up? Here, I used the width. Here, notice what happened?
Uh-huh.
So we're going to fix that again. How did I fix that? Do you remember? Well, we put it there.
Great.
Float left. Okay, now I put them there, but instead of pixels, what do I want?
Percent.
So let's put 15%. Okay. Enter. Now we go back and look, Now all that's off is that one. That's easy to fix because that was 70 pixels down. Now notice, if I just put a number and hit enter, it automatically puts pixels. Now we go over here, and it's working now. Do you realize I didn't do anything different? Let's go File, Save All Related Files, File, Save All. I just repeated doing that 4 times for it to stay. Why is this happening? Well, the reason this is happening, Adobe used to do everything in-house. They decided that they were going to outsource. When they outsourced the programs, your section does this, your section does that. Well, the outsourcing took it to different countries and different locations in those countries. Before, with it being in-house, they just stand up or go to the next office and say, hey, this is what's happening. Now that can't be done. Communication between those sections is not cooperating very well. And this is a problem with outsourcing, as you can see. But you can also see that I'm showing you the routes to fix these issues. So that being said, let's finish this one up so that I get this one looking the same tonight. All right? So next, what I want to do, well, I click on my banner. It's already in the right spot, right? The banner. Now, the banner, I do need the height because, and this one's going to be pixels, because remember, if I do the height based on percentage, it's the percentage of the whole page. Now watch, as I go down with this, as I keep going up with the number, you're going to watch the picture glitch. See it there?
Yep.
Okay, what that is, I just hit the edge of the largest area. So I want to go back one glitch so it doesn't glitch, okay? All right, so we have that. Now, well, now we need to set this up. But, File, Save All Related, Save All. You'll notice if I do this, go down. If I take these over here, this is going to be on the X.
Right.
So now we get to readjust that so that it fits this version. Okay?
Okay.
So to do that, what we do, we're going to do the same things. The H3, well, the H3, I'm going to do the same thing. The right, H1, we do the right and the right. There we go. And see how that's over the X? So we'll fix that here in a minute. And now we need the button. Same thing. Okay. Now we're going to go back to the H3. Percent. Oh, 10% works great on that one. Right? Nope, not quite. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So does that look good?
To me, yep.
Yep, okay. And then we're going to have to do the same with the button.
Uh-oh. That just went back.
What did?
Lawn care and landscaping moved back over the L.
It did. Do you know why?
Nope.
I'll show you. Okay, so we're going to put that right about there. Okay, now let's go back to here. The reason, notice, watch, enter. If you don't hit enter, that's what happened.
Ah.
So we'll go up now to 13. Now watch, when I skip to here, it went right back. So 13, enter. Now it stayed. That's where that difference comes in. Okay, so 18, text. Okay. And then, yeah, tomorrow we'll do this a little more, okay? Now, next one, notice that puts it right over that. So instead of placing it in that spot here, we're going to move it down to there. Now, notice how that makes it harder to read.
Yes.
So how do we make that easy? Well, we just do this. We're going to grab that green. And we're going to go text. There. There. Now here, the text on the button. But also, what we need to do, the border. So this is where this border comes in. Color here. So we go back out. Looking good. Oh, it did it again. So now we're going to go back to here, to the banner button. Text. Should stay white, but we want it green. Actually, we want all that on the 1024. What?
On the 1024, it was higher up.
Yeah, that didn't go to the right spot that time. There we go. Yeah, now we want that as white, or we can leave it as green. Which do you think looks better? Let's go to the green. Take a look at that. That makes it look a lot stronger no matter where it's at.
I like the green.
The green's a lot better. So now we're going to go up here. Okay, that should be up there. All I had to do was click on that and hit enter, and it put it right back to there. All right, now let's go down. And look, now it's working. Okay, so now we come to here. Notice it's already at the blue. So all I have to do now is grab that blue, go to it,
Add it.
section, background, blue.
Nope, you changed it.
Oh, I changed the button. There we go. Let's add that again. There we go. It didn't add it last time. All right, so there we have that. Go back up, width. Now, the width on this one is still 50%. So the width, 50%. Float left. Okay. This one, same thing. the green. Green background. Okay. So for the blue, I want all the text to be what color? White, right?
Right.
Okay, so I'm going to add that. Add the button. And as you start getting used to it, the more you do this, okay. Okay, that one's right, so I don't need to change it. But I'll need to add that one again. So over here. Button, add text. Okay. So there we have that. Now we come down to this. But before I do anything, what do?
Save all
File.
related files.
All related. And then file, save all. Okay. Everything's still good. Everything's still good. All right. Pictures, instead of 4, now they're 50% instead of 25%, right?
Right.
Well, now we click on that section, the div class, but because it's assigned to the 768, we don't have to worry about changing the name. So the width is going to be 50%. All right. You'll notice that the picture goes out, so we'll have to do the same thing. But the picture, again, is 100% because it's 100% of the section that it's in, right?
Right.
Right. Now we go up to that 4th again. Float left. And there we have it. All right. So that's now set up. So we go File, Save All Related Files. We're not even getting into the other one tonight because that will take some time. But for right now, you can start to see how these tie together, right?
Yes.
Okay, so tomorrow night, we will go over from scratch programming. Then we're going to also go into how to tie these together. But because I showed you most of this tonight, once I show you how to do it from scratch and how to build these, you're going to be able to watch number 1 and understand everything I did tonight. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I know it's a little backwards, but for this class, that helps, especially when we start talking about programming. All right. Are there any questions?
Nope.
All right, then. Thank you for coming to class. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow night. And like I said, tomorrow night, we're going to have some fun with the programming. Have a nice evening.
You too.
Bye.